this way so it doesn't look out of the direction.
Was it? Yeah, right?
Just leave it in my pocket.
That wasn't an erection, everybody.
It was a microphone. It's my microphone.
Nice.
Hey everybody, welcome to TuneIn to Turnfit.
Outdoors edition.
Yeah, so we're going to do our best today to hopefully avoid noise. As soon as we sat down in this spot, all of a sudden somebody started sawing. So.
Yeah, home rental season. Yeah, so we decided to just get some fresh air. We're in phase 3. Things seem to be normalizing or like stabilizing.
Yeah, Vancouver, we're doing quite well.
Yeah, I think over the weekend it was like 24 cases.
Yeah.
Like 3-4, so yeah.
So, yeah, we want to know how you're doing. Make sure to comment below and to subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, today we kind of want to talk about what's happening in the world, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's gonna be hard not to, right? It's just like, I don't know. It's just a serious tone. It's just everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll just keep it really. We've already been off the cuff, but just keep it really casual. I know, like over the weekend here in Vancouver, we had a protest. 3,500 people, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, and to me, like what happened down there was horrible.
Yeah.
I've been a NFL fan for quite some time, so and my team's actually the San Francisco 49ers. So, the irony in that, like Colin Kaepernick gets blackballed from the NFL for taking a knee. And it literally took like a cop kneeing on someone's neck.
Yeah.
I think Joe Rogan basically pointed this out for this stuff to happen, and it's good. I mean, it's nice to see that like people are really putting their foot down. Clearly, it's been something that's been going on for a long, long time. I think it's just really disgusting to see that a lot of people are taking advantage of the situation with rioting and looting and that sort of stuff. I can understand the hate and anger, which is good. It's not good. I mean, people need to be upset, but.
Sometimes it takes something significant to show that there's change. I agree that it's wrong rioting and looting and stuff, but you have to protest somehow and show that, hey, we're serious.
Yeah, and you know what? For me, like I don't live in the States and I'm not African American, but I am a person that is clearly identifiable by color. And I don't know, I've experienced racism growing up. I grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I still, it's hard to really peg what I am. I'm half Filipino, half Parisian, and growing up in Manitoba, I was always confused, or I visibly appeared as someone Aboriginal, and anyone who actually truly knows like the state of affairs in that city as like the crime capital of Canada. I don't know if they still have that label, and I grew up at the heart. There's a Vice documentary about it, with the Aboriginal gangs, and like I grew up in the '90s and stuff. So and I grew up in the system, Manitoba housing. I'm a single mom, so I've been through some shit. I've had the cops, I had all white friends. I grew up in an all white neighborhood, and we were sort of punk teenagers. And the cop shows up and he sees a bunch of teenagers doing some punk things hanging on a set. Like, who do you think they target?
Yeah, you get in trouble. Yeah.
I've been hit a few times. Also, I won't get into depth and try to make this like a selfish thing. But I've seen some shit. I've had my mom spat on for being Filipino. So I've been through this stuff. And in the States, to me, again, the States is it's way more prevalent, of course. I don't know. I'm angry and upset for a bunch of different reasons. I may say some wrong things right now. I think David Goggins said it best. I was listening to his thing yesterday, and he's gone through some stuff too good and bad, and he definitely credits white people for getting to where he's at. But I think he has it nailed when he says white people are the ones that need to cause the change, right? Because they're in the position of power, and to me, I don't want to take away. It's nice to see that people are doing this Blackout Tuesday thing. There's been several articles about how it can almost take away from the fact, but are you just some fair weather motherfucker that's putting up some black picture and you think you've done your fucking part? Because literally, to me, this is the same. That happened. The park thing happened. I remember, I think it was 3-4 years ago. I watched this African American man being arrested and put in a chokehold, and he has asthma, and he died. And this is just what we know of, right? Yeah. This shit goes on all the time. There's this shit that doesn't get reported, and all of a sudden, this happens, and I'm God, R.I.P. George Floyd. But these people standing up, are you just gonna abandon it again? It's been happening countless of fucking times. Yeah. Not just for African Americans, but for for myself, we've had racial incidences here.
Well, even one of a coworker that we work with out of one of the facilities, I won't name the name, but this is a couple of years ago, that similar situation where he was walking across one of the bridges and one of the cops pulled him over, and then they thought he had some kind of weapon, which he didn't, and then they started beating him up. And then there was a GoFundMe page, because unfortunately most people don't have a bunch of money to have a lawyer to bring this to anybody's attention, and it gets brushed aside. That's the hard part.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the whole thing. Yes, he died and all sort of stuff too. And I hope some people are just enough's enough. I hope some of this stuff with to me, it's just people being more like acting like it's I don't know if they think like it's the first time thing, or I don't know, you're doing your part, you feel like you're doing your part, but like I don't know, to me it's like do your fucking part. And it's like this shit is sick. It's just sick. It's gone on forever, and then just people act like they have problems. Like like the people again maybe it's my circumstances or my surroundings, and I'm in the fitness scene. I live in downtown Vancouver, and people's priorities with Botox and how they look and problems, and I'm like those aren't fucking problems. Like these have been fucking problems, and like don't take your. I guess that's my message. Like what? Like there's this good momentum moving forward. Don't take your foot off the gas, and I just hope everyone who is standing up and putting up these pictures, and that's what just doesn't leave it like they did their part and go back to normal life, because like I still go through some shit. I got tattoos, I'm colored, and there's still some stuff that happens. I'm not getting assaulted or anything like that, but I have been in the past. And then my aunt, who's Filipino, lives in Mississippi, so I've gone down the south several times, and I've seen some shit there too. And I don't live there. I'm trying to act like I'm some authority on it, but like, man, this shit is fucking real, and it's not gonna fucking stop. It hasn't. The LA riots, the Watt riots, there's just, like, so many Aboriginal, Chinese, and African American, all that sort of shit. So I don't know. I think the people who have the power just need to fucking do something.
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of ridiculous that it's 2020 and this stuff is still happening.
But yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's not. I mean, but there's just hate, Dave. It's just like there's just fucking hate in the world, and like even people I know, they still make jokes. We make cultural jokes, this sort of stuff too. Those people make a living off of it, and we do stuff in passing until some real shit happens. But there's some real hate, to hate someone for the color of their skin or whatnot. I mean, the park thing, the park thing. You know about that one?
Which one?
Well, that's what they're calling it. It's the big three.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? There was the lynching in Atlanta or Georgia, and then there was an incident where an African American man was walking through Central Park, and this white lady had a dog off the lead.
Yeah, and said she had a gun.
Are you fucking kidding? Because everyone's got a camera. I think there's a hidden camera in my asshole just examining the shit I take. So there's just cameras everywhere, and now that we're starting to see it, I think it's just we're in it's good. The Instagram thing's good. I mean, we log on and we're concerned about our faces and our looks and what we want to buy next and blah blah blah. But honestly, we just devoted 1% of our day towards what actually matters. I think the world would be a way different place, and it's unfortunate that people are taking it out in the wrong areas, like violent protests or whatnot. So people are taking advantage of the situation for sure. But I can understand the hate.
Yeah,
it's different. I would say it's to me, it's not a surprise that it's still going on this day. But it's great to see that there's a lot more white people and other people actually standing up for the cause, because that wasn't the case in the LA riots. I did a paper for it in school, and it was you had black people destroying their own black neighborhoods. Yeah. You had the same shit in Watts, right? And then I remember there's this incident where there was this Korean grocer, and it was 6 months prior to that. It was heating up, tension was rising, and the grocer owner shot this kid. I can't remember how old he was, dead for shoplifting. So it's as soon as the Watt riots, the LA riots happened, they burnt that fucking store down, right? And I don't know, so there's some hate and stuff, but now you're you're destroying people's livelihoods with businesses
that's the
and
thing.
that sort
and
of stuff
especially
too.
now when businesses are already suffering, don't destroy your own stuff. You probably shouldn't destroy anything, but definitely protest and stand up. Get all your other friends. Again, like you said before, get your white friends to help support you. They can't just post a black screen and then walk away and be done.
No, for sure. Well, and that's the whole thing. Yeah, people are upset, but then now it's really like a life for a life, pretty much, right? I mean, what's it going to take where you have this happens all the time, and this George Floyd thing was really in your face. Well, fuck, man, this stuff goes on all the time, right? And now it's just now it's almost like this life for a life where people are destroying people's lives through their businesses and torching that stuff, and those people's lives are ruined too. So, is that how we're going to act as people? Well, just get even?
And it's it just seems this is worldwide this happens, but there's so much stuff in the States, and I don't know if it's their leader or not. I don't want to say because you'll have a strong opinion. But you need to support the people. Again, similar to women and women's rights. They were trying to strip away those when it took a bunch of men before in the past to help give women's rights.
No, and that's
then
the whole point.
Now we're lax on it again. And same thing,
Are we lax on it? No, now we're getting way off topic here.
Well, yeah, so anybody, sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't take the foot off the gas is what I'm trying to say with this, because you need to support. It's just mind-blowing. For me, I don't necessarily see color. All my friends, I barely have that many white friends.
I never see color either.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? They're people. Does it actually matter?
It's I don't know. It's just some people's ideologies, the way they grew up. My mom's an old ass Filipino lady. Man, some of the most racist fucking people in the world, some old ass Filipino people, some old ass Asians. fucking hate everybody.
So-
So, so I don't know.
And like you mentioned before, okay, like people say things in passing.
That's a big generalization, a huge generalization. Just maybe it's my circle, you know.
Well, it could be that generation, like you said, your mom is older.
Then she just comes from a different. I guess what I'm trying to say, she comes from a different time, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of these young people that have privy to social and that sort of stuff, I don't know, maybe they weren't exposed to that kind of shit. Maybe they just have the wrong idea. I always have in the back of my mind because I've been through that sort of stuff.
Well, regardless, you turned out really good. So
I'm great. Thank you.
And I think it does stem from the parents, though, because they kind of leave it as an example. So yeah, maybe your mom made a joke here and there, but she actually doesn't hate people.
Well, it's also
that's a difference.
Yeah, now we're really diving into a bunch of stuff where you grew up and blah blah blah. And I grew up in the system and like in Manitoba housing, we're in the height of like Aboriginal gangs and like with the flooding and that sort of stuff too. And I've seen a lot of shit. I've seen a lot of hate. And like my dad, and not to get too personal, but my dad, everyone he surrounded himself with was Aboriginal too, right? So like. That's just what he grew up in the North End, and that's just what he did, right? So when I go visit him, he was very much part of that culture and stuff too. And there's a lot of whenever I bring a white friend over, they fucking hate that guy. They would they would just yell at him
Oh, really?
racial obscenities, So like, yeah, and it's been this back and forth thing for a long, long time, right? So I don't know, like it's just we just can't stop thinking that this is, and just because we're doing this and we do our part, it's going to go away. It's not going to fucking go away. It hasn't already, right? Like this has been like every so often there's a rinse of this stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just what we see. So to be like blindly ignorant to the fact think that things are okay, they're not okay. To think like, yeah, maybe more in Canada, it's not as prevalent. It's definitely not as like strong in the States. I can say that. Again, I'm not some expert, but.
Well, I think part of it is they have like more of the melting pot where you're supposed to be all the same in the States. Where here, like, it still happens for sure. I'm not saying it doesn't, but we agree that most of the people I hang around with, at least, love cultural things and love sharing and learning about each other's culture and the food and like all the habits and traditions. Like I like that.
Yeah.
That's why I travel around the world all the time. I love learning different cultures and different things and seeing like what takeaways I can do and like I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. I think the protest is good, but it needs to be like a protest and like the government and people in charge. Which again,
well, and that's the thing. You need to have a strong leader that will help support that, not tear it away.
I don't even know what's going on with that Trump. I just like I didn't even know what was going on until fucking one of my clients because I just couldn't even turn on the news anymore.
Yeah, it is crazy. But yeah, even poor Trudeau the other day on the news was asked what his opinion or thoughts were on the issue of Trump, and it took him 20 seconds to answer.
Yeah, is it the person though, or is it the position? Because I remember like I lived like my aunt lives in Mississippi, and one of the last times I was down there was, and then we ended up going to New Orleans. It was like fucking literally like 2 months after Katrina, and like I just remember that sort of being the same thing. The president doesn't care, right? And then like I'm not from there, you know what I mean? I wasn't there throughout the whole thing, but I saw some shit, and like I remember we were driving, and then my cousin starts yelling at my aunt because she wants to turn off the off ramps. Like, don't do that, because like literally what they've been doing is they stand at the off ramp with like machine guns, waiting for people to drive down to jack them because their fucking like lives are destroyed and they got no support, so they're just gonna rob your ass. So like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're posting up a thing, but until you actually see it and been in it, and again, I'm not an expert. I don't live through it. I'm not American, but I've seen some stuff and I know some stuff, and I've been through some stuff here. It's just like, yeah, man, I just think it's like. I don't even know what I'm saying about this Trump, but like, is it the position? Like, there's something wrong with the system. There's something wrong with the fucking system.
Okay, I agree with that. That's a better statement.
There's just something wrong with the fucking system. So they just something needs to fucking happen. And then like with like, I don't know, there's some good stuff that Joe Rogan said from another paraphrasing like a police officer, which just like, or Chris Rock's just like, he made that statement about pilots, where he's just like, you just can't have like a couple bad apples. Like if you take like a fighter pilot, it's like normal. Like 90% of the time we land the plane, but 10%, those few apples. Like you just can't. So there needs to be something better with like the police system.
Oh,
they need to be trained better or something.
I think that and again, it comes with some kind of leadership and system because as you should be the role model. So if you're an officer, I assume you're going into it because you want to make a better life for everybody.
Yeah, but even then, they like, you know what I mean? That's the other thing, too, is that, like, there's some good cops out. There's lots of good cops. A lot of good cops have been very outspoken, that sort of thing. And then, unfortunately, like, sometimes you have some bad apple. Unfortunately, like, if you look at the police system as a whole, think of it as, like, a Walmart and Amazon. They're like a corporation. Yeah. And, like, there's just certain little departments that may have, if you have bad apples, right? Or you know, like maybe they have like post-traumatic stress. Like, you know, I can't imagine what it's like to be a cop and like and see some shit. You know, I'll take Winnipeg for example, and like the gang and stuff. Like sometimes they had to be that way. 'Cause some of the shit they like deal with, they get threatened, they get stabbed, they get shot. They get, like, you know what I mean? And then to go home and try to wash that away and have a smile on your face, like you need pills or drugs and psychology and that sort of shit too. So like, there's just the system's just all fucked up, and that's the whole thing. And again, like I don't know, great, everyone's like stepping up, but like I hope this doesn't lose steam.
Yeah.
And like,
hopefully 2020 is the year that many problems are fixed. Like, because we actually have a chance where the world's slowing down, we can take a look at things that need to be solved.
Yeah, and not taking a look at a public lynching. You know, that shit's been going on for centuries, basically. Yeah. So, you know, it's appalling now for sure, but I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to say anything more.
No, so it's a super hard, sensitive topic, basically.
I don't find it that sensitive. Not as a person of color.
Right.
I don't find it that sensitive. If other people are offended by it, maybe I'm saying the wrong things. I don't care. But once you've gone through some stuff, and that's one person with one opinion, and I'm using this as like a chance to voice it because I've been through some stuff, and I've seen some stuff too, and then let's see that. It's just sick. It's just so sick. And like to see some positive reactions is good. Some negative ones of like acts of like senseless violence is sick. But yeah, I just hope once people's tempers calm down, there's just some sort of peaceful resolution where people won't have to die for nothing. That's all.
Yeah. Hopefully there is a positive that comes out of this.
Yeah, you just can't stop hate though. You know, you can try to regulate it.
Well, because it's kind of bred in. So like again,
that's the whole thing, right?
Honestly, there needs to be courses before you have kids.
I don't know, something. I just don't want like white Betty Susie Homemaker just to think they're doing their part by like doing something like, and then just leave it at that, right? I think there just needs to be something just through and through.
Yeah.
And just systematically, something needs to change.
Well, it should even be in the school systems as little, like again, kids learn this and pick it up from everybody, their friends, their surroundings, their parents, and if their parents aren't trained on how to treat people like equals, then the school systems at the very least should have that, like, because basically school's teaching us how to socialize.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we just all just like take acid and just hug each other?
No, but you shouldn't. You could.
No. I don't know. You know, like wavy gravy, fucking Woodstock's dead. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I have never tried it, so let's.
No, okay. That's what they're trying to do back then, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the hippie generation seemed really lovey-dovey and caring and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think that's the solution. Let's just mass drug everyone with LSD until they hug each other.
So is that the problem? Like this all flared up because we got rid of all the drugs?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Too much drugs, not enough drugs. I don't know. What's the answer? Anyways, I'm not trying to make light of it, the situation at all. It is a serious situation. Yeah, I think we covered a lot on that topic. Is there anything else we should?
No, I'm good.
So, yeah. Comment below any thoughts that you have. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. Click below. You can check us out on a podcast on Spotify. We also have it on Podbean, turnfit.ca, /blog. Check us out on our blog, Instagram at turnfit.ca. And be part of the solution. Try not to be part of the problem. Stay current with the news and see how you can support your brothers and sisters out there.
Yeah, I just don't think anyone should fucking hate anybody.
No, I agree.
You know. Okay. That's it, yeah. Okay.